Mayor. My name is Samantha, and I would first like to point out that our opponent didn't actually make a claim stating that we don't need more checks and balances, or that the changes that we want to make within the policy were wrong or were not needed. He made no statement saying that everything is fine and what we're doing right now is completely legal or anything like that. So we still state that there needs to be more monitoring of officials, more checks and balances, and more accountability for the wrongdoings of the government surveillance. I'd like to start out with the fact that in the recent years, this is by Peter Van Buren, in the recent years, the government has treated the king of all checks and balances, the Constitution, like a used Kleenex. The Secret Foreign Intelligence and Surveillance Court, FISA, was set up to provide judicial oversight in a classified setting to the intelligence community. Theoretically, the government is required to make a compelling case for the issuance of orders authorizing electronic and other surveillance, physical searches, and compelled production of business records. Either the government is very good at making its case, or the court has become a rubber stamp. The secret FISA court approved all 1,789 requests submitted in 2012. And this is going off of what Thomas had stated, that this secret court, has just become a rubber stamp, as it can show here, and it has approved all of the cases that has come before it. This is just showing that the checks and balances, that these courts that are set up to provide us the more security that we need, so that the government isn't just looking in to everything that we do, isn't actually doing its job. Also, I wanted to point out that Mark made a comment that wiretapping has been around for a very long time, and yet there's a very famous counter to that. It's Nixon, the Watergate. Was prosecuted for wiretapping. So it's not something that is welcomed to all of America. It's something that specifically in our history has become something that's looked bad upon. Another thing that he stated was that the information that they were getting wasn't needed. But I have something here that, according to the findings of Justice Department Inspector General Glenn A. Fine, the FBI tried to work around the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court, which oversees the clandestine spying in the United States, which is the CIA, after it twice rejected the FBI request in 2006 to obtain certain records. The court had concluded the facts were too thin and implicated the target's First Amendment rights. But the FBI went ahead and got the records anyway by using a national secret letter. The FBI's General Counsel Valerie A. Caproni told investigators it was appropriate to use the letters in such cases. So the national security letter, it is a blanket, I can do what I want from the government. It takes out any form of security. The ACLU argued that that Section 215 of the Patriot Act allows the FBI to force anyone, including doctors, libraries, bookstores, university, and internet security providers, to turn over their records on their clients or customers using national security letters. The fact that these are being used against U.S. citizens and being used so aggressively should call into question the claim that these powers are about terrorists and not just about collecting information on all kinds of people. This is said by Jamal Jaffer, a national security director of the American Civil Liberties Union. They're basically using national security letters to invade legal requirements that would be enforced if there were judicial oversight. These national security letters are wiping over any checks and balances that we would have in our government. And when it comes to changing laws, what we're asking to have more checks and balances, more accountability, and monitoring officials is not something that is completely over the moon. The laws have been changing since the Constitution was born. This is by Peter Van Buren as well. Laws manipulated for terrible ends must be challenged when they come to conflict with the fundamental principles and morals of a free society. Laws created Nelson Mandela, the terrorist, whom the US kept on its terror watch list until 2008. And laws created Nelson Mandela, the president. A law can be changed if it is for what is right for the society. It changed Nelson Mandela from a terrorist to a president. So what we are asking for more laws is not unfounded. Laws recognize other forms of privileged communication. Our conversations with lawyers and doctors, for example, are protected because we understand that our legal and medical systems cannot work unless communications shared within them retain presumptive confidentiality. Yet the national security letters can cut that right away and take any conversation that we have with our lawyers and doctors and make it government's information. So again, I'm going to summarize that we are asking for more checks and balances, more accountability, and to monitor the officials that are in charge of our surveillance. Thank you.